Hey guys, so this is going to be my labor and delivery story. Alright, so I started having contractions at 12:40 a.m. on October 2nd, and they were lasting about 30 seconds to 1 minute. It changed every time, and they were from like 3 to 4 minutes apart, sometimes even longer. So they were pretty irregular contractions, and I was going into labor, so they don't always have to be 3 to 4 or 2 to 4 minutes apart. And we left for the hospital at 4 a.m. because I didn't believe they were Braxton Hicks anymore, because they just weren't going away. They were lasting like 4 hours. So when I arrived at the hospital, it was around like 4:30, and I was 6 centimeters dilated, and they hooked me up to the machines to monitor my contractions and the baby's heart rate. And those things are honestly really annoying, the straps. And every time you laugh, it'll like make a really loud noise, and like sometimes when you move in a certain way, it makes the baby's heart rate go down, and that can be like, that like freaks me out sometimes. A little before 5:30 a.m. they gave me medicine for the strep B, and they put that in through an IV. And they put it right here, I believe, somewhere on my arm, like around here. And then after that, I was moved to a labor and delivery room, and I was just hanging out, and the time goes by so fast. Like, I thought it was going to be so slow. I thought it was going to be like a dragging experience, and it went by so fast. And I got an epidural around 8 a.m. and I technically got the epidural because I wanted sleep, and I did not want to feel the baby coming out or anything like that. I just didn't want to feel it. So that's why I got the epidural. And after I got the epidural, I was just shaking. I just kept shaking. I guess the epidural can give you the shakes, and the epidural made me itch. I wasn't itchy at first. Like, it took a while to start like bothering me where I was really itching. But once I started pushing, I really didn't even notice because I was like pushing, obviously. They broke my water around like 10:45 a.m. I started pushing around 11:45 a.m. I'm not completely positive of the times. I'm just giving an estimation. But by the time I started pushing, the epidural wore off because she wanted me to be able to feel my contractions. So I felt it, which I did not want to feel. I pushed for about an hour and a half, and they decided to cut me to help the baby come out easier because his head just wasn't really coming out. And my doctor decided to give the baby a mohawk when his head was just hanging out, and I'm like dying in all this pain, and they're just like giving my son a mohawk. Yeah. But when they cut me, I did feel it. They're like, oh, you won't feel it, and I did feel it. I felt pretty much everything, and you just like, you feel like you have to poop when the baby's coming out, like, honestly, but it's like a really uncomfortable feeling. It feels like you're having like this huge thing come out of your butt. That's what it basically feels like, even though it's not your butt, but it feels like it's your butt. Don't know why. And so after that, I was completely out of it. Well, I was like out of it the whole time. Like, an hour after pushing, I was just completely out of it. I felt like I was going to pass out. I was dizzy. I was starving, and I don't know. It was just a really awful experience. Alright, so the baby started crying, so I just have to hold him. So it felt really weird when they pulled him out. Like, I can't even describe it. It felt so weird. Like, it was a gross feeling. Like, but then it felt like relieving in a way. After they pulled him out, they placed him on my belly, and he was moving his head around, and it was the cutest thing. But with delivering the placenta, which felt like I was having another baby, and then pushing on my stomach to get the blood out and everything. That hurt a lot too. And then they stitched me up, which hurt pretty much a lot too. But other than that, everything went pretty good. The contractions were not as painful as I thought they would be. They were painful, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying contractions aren't painful, but they're not as painful as I expected, because people are like, oh my god, they're so painful. So I just thought they were going to be like really, really, really painful. Contractions were probably my least problem. Like, you know, my biggest problem was that I was so out of it. Like, I was so out of it. But honestly, when you see your baby, it's like the best feeling. You can't even describe it. And like, it's all worth it in the end. And yeah, so that's pretty much all. After I had the baby, they brought me into my my actual room, and I just rested. And I did have a few of my family members come down that night and everything. But other than that, he was healthy. He didn't need intensive care or anything. Nothing like that. So everything went pretty good. They just kept checking on us, the nurses, and everything. So that's my story. My son was born at 1:18 p.m. and it was on October 2nd. So yeah, that's pretty much all. Thanks for watching.